What would it feel like to take a third of the year, 100 days off from your business and still keep excelling and going past your business goals every single time you do? Well, that's why we have Rafi here today, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, why this matters to you, and why it matters to him. Here you go. Rafi, take the lead.
First of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. It's an honor and privilege to be here. My name is Rafi Sheikh. I'm a founder and transformation coach at Peaceful Advisor Lifestyle Coaching. So we help financial advisors and planners to build a seven-figure lifestyle practices and take 100 days off every single year. Yes, you heard that right. 100 days off. It's very exciting. I have done it for myself. I was an advisor in my past life, so I was able to do it for myself. So now I teach other advisors how they can achieve this in their business and actually live a life. We all have a notion that for business, we have to bend over backwards. It has to take precedence in our life. So business come first, clients come first. Yeah, it's all good. And I was in the same boat. I was in the same camp. I was bending over backwards for business, and I built a very successful business doing that, but at the expense of my health, my relationships, and it was a total chaos.
Oh,
So that led me to the realization that things should not be in the same way that how the traditional wisdom says. So I went against the grain and built this alternate theory. How can I have my life in the middle and wrap my business around it rather than the other way around? Because for a lot of entrepreneurs, you hear that it's a hustle. You got to do this, you got to do that. You have to do every single thing to keep the clients, to make them happy. Then I figured out, because for a lot of these, especially the alpha entrepreneurs who wanted to be that person, wanted to go that extra mile and achieve all their income goals, achieve all these things, there is a cost to it. There's the other side to it. And that's where they lose the focus of self care. They forget one fundamental thing about self care.
that's
And that's what
it.
I think we're going to talk about today.
I think my favorite part of all that you said, and I don't think anybody will be surprised, is the fact that you took a very outdated outlook, an outdated practice, and you made it your own. That is what Marketing Rebels is about: breaking business barriers, breaking things down and asking, well, why though?
Yes.
Why do I have to grind and hurt and sacrifice so deeply for this, for whatever it is that I want? And it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter if it's money, if it doesn't matter if it's lifestyle or travel or luxury. Maybe you're a Gucci gal. I don't know. It's okay. You shouldn't have to suffer to get
Yes.
there. And that's why, Rafi, you're saying that we can take, if we do it right,
Yes.
we can achieve those successes
Yes.
and take a heap of time off to nurture ourselves, our souls, our relationships.
Yes.
That's amazing. But
Yes.
where do we start?
Like you mentioned, starting with a why.
Mm,
Why am I doing this? Because it's very easy to get lost in the woods. Yeah, it's basically losing the sight, forest for the trees.
right.
I'll be running and I'll be doing all these things, and I'm missing out. My dinner with kids. I'm missing out on weekends, doing client meetings, and all these things.
Yeah.
Then one day I realized, man, all I have is 18 summers with them. That's all I got. And I already lost like these many summers with them, and this is how many I got left. Because before the kids turn 18, they would be spending 97% of their time with us in their entire life.
That's right. That's right.
And I was okay, like I'm doing this. I was hiding behind the veil that I'm doing this for them.
Mm,
And deep down it was very selfish. I wasn't doing it for them. I was actually doing it for myself. And that's when I realized it was like a big awakening moment. Like every one of us, like we have those moments in our lives, you
Yeah.
know. Sometimes those are smaller sparks, sometimes those are atomic bombs.
Hmm.
I literally had a blast of an atomic bomb.
I can feel it. It's, this is something, how many of us, and I'd love to hear comments and conversations about this. How many of us started our business, no matter what field you're in, you started your business as an entrepreneur for your family. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing that to be belittling or anything like that, because I'm in the same boat, right? But it's really important to remember that reason.
Yes,
Because if your actions aren't in alignment with family or connections or relationships being a core value of why you started something,
true.
then you may want to revisit either your values or your actions.
Yes,
Mm.
so very true. Like you touched a really good point, because it's almost always the case about the misalignment between the values and the actions. Because this is what you want. I want an amazing relationship with my spouse, but your actions say something else.
Mm.
So totally something, out of this world. And that's where I think we lose focus on, and we need to always keep the eye on the ball. Like what is like really important. I was talking to an advisor. He's in his like late 30s, early 40s.
Mm.
That Rafi, like another 5 more years, I'm gonna build, an amazing practice, amazing business. Then I'll have all the time. And I'm like, no, you won't.
No.
Your kids are 9 and 6. In the next 5 years, okay, your eldest would be 14, probably at a stage where they really don't care about you.
No. Not
Okay,
at 14.
and that's where you hear all these f bombs around the house.
Mm.
Kids cussing the parents. Don't get me wrong. It's almost always the fault of the parent, and I am a big
Yeah.
believer in that. See, the kids, like they don't care when they grow up. Like even you, as an adult, if you remember, your fondest memories would have been when your parents spent time with you. It's not the
Yeah.
newest bike they got for you. It's not like whatever the thing that they gave for you. It's the presence.
Yeah.
Like you failed an exam, they were there for you. You're playing a game, they were there for you. You guys went out on vacation, they were there for you. Because that's all kids care for, right? Like they
Yeah.
want your presence. They don't want a present from you, they want your presence. And as an entrepreneur, it's very hard to kind of give that when your business wants so much out of you. Because we have that mindset. The number one thing, like if you ask me, Rafi, like what is the number one thing that you can teach any entrepreneur or any advisor to build the great business? I would say the number one thing is like work on your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If you can change that mindset from, okay, this is what my why is, and I'm gonna align my values with my actions, and I'm always keep that on track. I wanted to keep checking my GPS
Yeah.
every now and then. Am I on track with my why? And build a business around that.
And I while we're using a really great example of family and children, because you and I are both parents, but even if your why is to travel, it becomes problematic if, no matter what your why is, you say, I can achieve this why only when X happens. That's very problematic. What you need to do is center yourself around your why, and this is what I'm hearing from you, Rafi. Center yourself around your why, and make sure that that your business truly facilitates that why, not the other way around.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
like I tell my clients this all the time. Hey, we're going to do some brain gymnastics. I feel like that's what we're doing here. We're doing
I
some brain gymnastics, and
love the word.
it really, and it is though, because you need to start conceptualizing things differently. You need to start realizing that maybe travel doesn't look like you were hoping it would look right now, but you need to make space for it. Because if you haven't made space for your kids, for travel, for reading, for a paint, I don't know, anything that is your goal, for activism, um, If you haven't made space for it now and you think you're going to when you've reached a milestone, you won't.
Yes, yes. No, when we do planning with our advisors, that's what we do. The first thing, we design the calendar. What we do is we fill the vacation spots first.
Yes. Yes, that's my favorite thing. Honest to goodness, I have a 90-day marketing map, and people think, oh, 90-day marketing map, that's great, because we're going to outline all of our marketing, our launches, our campaigns. We're going to outline what we need to do on a regular basis, as well as these pop-ups and yada yada. This is true, but this is not the first category that I tell you to fill out. The first category is called personal.
Yes.
That comes first, because I'm not going to, first of all, I am not doing a launch during the week of mine and my son's birthday in June. It's not going to happen. I don't want to, because what I want to do is sit out in my hammock and have people serve me pina coladas all day. And then I'll probably be planning my son's birthday, which might be, I don't know, Minecraft or dinosaurs, but that's a whole different ballpark. I'm not going to want to do a launch during that day. So I plug that in first, highlight that category in probably pink, because I don't like how obnoxious red is, but pink, and then say, nope, that's an off day. We're not doing a launch that day. That's not when my campaign is running. Or if it is running that day, or that week rather, it's automated.
Yes.
I don't need to touch it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is the truth for what you're doing as well.
Yes, that's what we do. Like, we build automated systems. So three things that we help, the big things that we help uh, advisors in our business is help them pick the niche that they can work with, which will help them accomplish their income goals.
Right.
Help them build the processes and the systems which will run and, like, automate it. And
Yes.
the third thing is like how to eliminate, automate, and delegate. So first, like, we declutter stuff because they're most probably doing the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. We follow the 80/20 principle to the core
Yes.
in our business, because like 80% of your results are driven by the 20% of your efforts. So we help them identify what are those 20% and own those 20%. So that's like 80% is eliminated right at the bat, at least close to.
Mm-hmm.
Then whatever is eliminated, then what we do is we try to automate. And if we cannot automate that, that's when we delegate. We
Yes.
bring in someone else and, hey, you know what? This stuff is very hard to automate. I trust you, and I want you to take care of this, and we're going to train you and do all this. So these are the three things that we focus.
And if nobody's brought out their notepad by now, that was what you should have written down. So go back and write that down, because this is the truth of creating that dream lifestyle practice. Your business will just feel so fulfilled and easy. And maybe not, I shouldn't say easy, because easy can be very subjective, but at least simple.
Yes, yes.
So that makes a huge difference.
Sorry.
Hey, that's all right. We love family. Now,
I have a year and a half old at home. He's sick, so he's running around.
oh, love. I'm from the start of this, I love children, and this is a really important part of what we do. And it's something that I think is supposed to happen in our day to day. And this is actually how my personal business, just to let everybody know some of my business fundamentals, is that um, we start with you. And we just described that. We start with you, the lifestyle you want to live. So if that means that we need to have a babe on our lap while we're doing a conversation, that's going to happen, because that's the thing that comes first. I've had guests in the past who said, hey, I'm just wondering if my daughter needs to nurse during our recording. May I? Absolutely. Right. We need to make sure that we normalize putting our life first.
Absolutely.
That's where we're coming from. Creating your dream lifestyle practice, making sure that your life comes first. I feel like we should have this on repeat. Just somebody break a record with your life comes first. Your life comes first. That's the message.
No, that's actually the secret for running a sustainable business.
Yes. And I would love the word sustainable. So let's dive in there. Let's talk about sustainability in business from your perspective.
So in my perspective, a business that could be sustainable over a long period of time is when you serve from a place of compassion, passion, and purpose.
Beauty.
when you actually shine that light, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to be that filled cup. So that's why I emphasize so much on self-care, going back to our conversation at the beginning.
Yeah.
If you cannot take care of yourself, no one else will. And if you cannot take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of your business and the clients that you talk about, and say that, oh, client first and this and that.
Mhm.
Dude, forget about that. Like, no client wants a substandard version of yourself.
I need a flag. I need to start waving flags around here. It's true. You're showing up like, oh, I'm so tired. I guess I can do this for you. No.
No.
Nor do we. And actually, here's something else to think of, just to put things into perspective. No client wants that. We know that. And we know that all of you, our audience, you're not showing up like that. I know that because you're providing exceptional service. But what happens when you exit the door to your office and you meet your husband or wife or children or pet, even with that decreased energy, with that plummeted energy because you've brought everything you could for just your clients, but your life now is suffering. Your relationships are suffering. You don't have the energy to travel like your dream goal was.
Yeah. Like, I'm a big on travel. We have already planned like 12 trips for this year. We did 3 just like a couple of weeks ago. We did a surprise trip to Vancouver.
Oh, beautiful.
I just took the kids out. I said, like, my daughter was asking, she's 4, Daddy, where are we going? I'm like, no, we're just going for a stroll. So I drove to the airport, got down, got them on the plane, and took off. No, like, we went to Vancouver Aquarium just for
Yeah.
a day. We got back home at night. They were sleeping in their bed at night.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
That was the best thing ever I did in my life. The best. Like, the kids were excited. My wife was, I don't know, like, we have a 1.5-year-old, like, how he's gonna do it. He 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 was really, really good. We were shocked and surprised how good he was throughout the entire thing.
Just making it happen.
Just making it
Oh,
happen.
I
Because
love
we
it.
doubt ourselves, like, oh, like, to your point, I'll do this when I have this. I
Right.
always say that, what can you do now without that? Let's focus on that.
That's exactly it. Oh, and this is so funny. So for anybody, before we went live today, I was mentioning how I have 3 children and how I'm like, oh, we're both in Canada. I've been out east. I'd really like to go out west, but I just haven't yet because my kids are really young and it's challenging with school and this and that. And really at its root, I mean, those are excuses. They're real excuses. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to discount anybody else's presentation of this because in the end, we have to put food on the table. We
Yes.
need to fulfill our basic needs. But there's more to it than I don't need to hop on a plane out to Vancouver to make this dream a reality. One of the things that I've done in the past to really spark some magic in our lives to instill like this idea of travel is to get a whole bunch of boxes and get the kids to design their own cars, park them in front of the TV screen and say we're at the drive-in, or
Great.
go for a walk up the street to the local uh, conservation area and see who can find a newt. Can anybody find? Have you seen the eagle around? Because the conservation areas are great places to find these seemingly rare animals.
Nice.
And that's
Nice.
adventure. That's exploration. You can tap into it wherever you go, regardless of your income or where you're at when it comes to that sort of thing. Just
Yes.
take those excuses, put them on the shelf, and find solutions.
Yes, absolutely. No, like, as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be an extravagant travel, or you have to go for a cruise or a Disney cruise, or
Yeah.
like whatever, right? Like, all we've been talking about this, the kids and the family, they crave for the presence. All they
Mm,
ask, because I've been in that spot before. I'm on vacation, or I'm with my kids out. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about, okay, I have to talk to this client about this. I
mm.
have to do this thing about this, and I have to do, I am there, but I'm not present.
That's it. That's exactly it. And that's something that actually I really love that you said that because that's something that within the scope of, I mean, you're talking about full business development, you're talking about the ins and outs. Now, as you know, I'm here in the organic growth marketing space doing systems and processes, and the same kind of idea, but specific to marketing and showing up for your business, offer development, that sort of thing. And one of the stages of my process includes taking 7 days off in a row without looking at your business even once. And this is so, and I mean, I know 7 days is a flash in the pan compared to your 100 days, hoity-toity, but
Well,
but
that's the start, right?
but it's a
That's the
start,
start.
exactly, and it is a really profound start. I'm not sure the days, I haven't added them up yet, but I'd say I take up at least 6 weeks off every year. But that doesn't include my one day here, there, and everywhere that I just don't do work. I elect not to do work, and that my business doesn't fall apart.
Yes.
So it's that, and it started with a week. Actually, if we're being real, let's be very honest here with all of our audience. It started with a day.
Absolutely.
One day when I said, no, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not thinking about the thing to do next. And it slowly expanded to the week, to a summer,
Nice.
to
Nice.
100 days.
Nice. Nice.
This is so impactful.
Yes. No, it is very doable. A lot of times, like advisors come to us, like they're very skeptical of this. Man, like I'm not able to serve all these clients. Like I'm working like these 50-hour weeks, like 60 hours, sometimes even
Right.
70-hour weeks, and little income to show for. Where am I missing? It's just your business is not structured in a such a way.
It's not running efficiently. And actually, this brings me to my next and final point, is just the idea that, okay, I can hear people saying, okay, that's great, I'd love to take that time off, whether it's a day, 7 days, 100 days, but what about my income? How can I either maintain or exceed my income without working the extra hours? And it all does come down to that efficiency. But in addition to that, you promise 7 figures.
Yes.
Let's broach that conversation, because that sounds spicy.
Yes, absolutely. And it is very, very doable. Um, I usually like to talk about the 7 figures in 3 steps.
Hmm.
So, first thing, like you should have a great ability to solve a problem, like
Yes.
absolutely none par. Like okay, I do retirement planning like every other financial advisors. Nah, everyone else does it. What is that you can do very specifically? Okay. And that problem should be worth enough to command 5 or 6 figures in itself every single year.
There you
That
go.
the clients should feel that, and this is a steal of a deal. This is like a lifetime offer for me. And this is the best bang for my buck.
Hmm.
So we should have that the outcome that we are able to provide for the clients, and that will command that price that we are looking for. So just give you a 10,000 foot view. So if we have 50 houses or 50 clients that we can help achieve that outcome, and they pay you about $20,000 every year, that's your 7 figures.
There it is. I love breaking things down like that, making things as simple as possible.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah. To service 50 clients, you do, you don't have to be on the hamster wheel 7 days a week and 24/7 and 365 days a year. No, you don't have to, because
This
it
is,
boils down to the impact,
yeah,
like
yeah,
how impactful I can provide that value for them. That's why I call it, it's not a value proposition, it's a value promise. The stronger your promise, the better the price.
right, right. I
So
think
working on that skill.
I feel like that's a really great kind of nugget to just hold on to, is the idea, the stronger your promise, the bigger your price. Um, and then I guess, just because of time restraints, I want to ask you, is there anything that you haven't shared today? Because we've shared a lot. Is there
Yes.
anything that you haven't shared today that you feel like would be really impactful for our audience?
Yes. One last thing I would like to share is, like, if you really wanted to have a fulfilling practice, a fulfilling business, you need 3 things. You need income, you need a freedom and lifestyle, and you need impact that you wanted to create on the clients. If you have an unfulfilling business or a practice today, the one and only reason is you're missing one of these three, or probably you're missing all three. So go back to the drawing board and figure out which one is that you're missing. Once you figure this out, then your practice would never be the same again. Your business would never be the same again.
Literally life-changing.
Yes, absolutely.
And where can people get a hold of you, Rafi?
So they can connect me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm mostly active on. So they can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, wherever they are. And they can visit the website. The link would be in the show notes below. So you can visit there, and you can connect me and send me a message, and let me know that you heard me on this podcast.
Yes, absolutely. And don't
You'll
forget
get
that
bonus points.
that's bonus points. That's right. We'll give you a gold star. That's beautiful. And yes, absolutely. I encourage you to reach out to Rafi because, as you can see, he doesn't bite and he's a great conversationalist. So, with that, I encourage you to make sure you like, share, subscribe, and join in the conversation. I know you have things to say, so don't lie to me. Comment below and let's keep this rolling. We will see you next time on Marketing Rebels.